Hello everyone, welcome to another Whitehead Monckton podcast. This one again is hosted by myself, Tom and Jess.
Hello.
And today we're going to be giving you sort of an overview and chatting simply about what it's like to be a trainee here at Whitehead Monckton. I'm in my third seat at the moment. Jess is
I've
just finishing your first.
Yeah.
And we think we've got a decent plethora of experiences because we've sat different seats. So
the only ones we haven't done together is employment and family. They're the ones both of us haven't got experience in. But yeah, so I started in corporate. And in terms of the work that we do so far, it's kind of split. There's non-transactional law and transactional. So in terms of the non-transactional side, that's been a lot of drafting documents and shareholders agreements. And that's really interesting because you have a meeting with a client and you just draft an agreement on their wishes, and then you get their feedback and you get to make it the way that they want it, make it bespoke. And then more of the stuff I do with corporate is transactional. So that is dealing with companies buying other companies. And it doesn't sound as interesting as it is, but I've really enjoyed it. And I went into the seat a bit nervous, a bit apprehensive because I didn't think I would like corporate. It wasn't one of my favourite subjects in the LPC or in my law degree. So I was a bit worried, but I've absolutely loved it. The team's been really friendly and supportive. And the type of work is much more interesting than I thought it would be. So it's, again, drafting lots of documents. I'm always talking to the clients on email chains. I'm involved from the start. And you do get a really hands-on approach, I think, in all the seats. I'm sure you know more with the doing three.
So I also started in the seat which I probably wouldn't have thought would be something I'd be inclined to want first seat, first up, that being property. However, I absolutely loved it. It was like Jess said, property wasn't something. I think that's a reflection of land law and how it's taught at on the LPC, and I did the GDL. I really did enjoy the seat. To start with, you do a little bit of residential property and commercial property. Residential to give you sort of a flavour of the timeline of a transaction. And then as you get more comfortable with property transactions, the commercial side and your seat becomes much more a commercial property seat rather than property more generally. You work with a lot of different fee earners. I'm trying to think, in property, I probably worked with 4 or 5 different fee earners, and you're just acting as their number 2 in terms of support. You will help draft things and then they will review it, and you move through there. Property is very formulaic in that there is a clear timeline.
Yeah, same with corporate, actually. Yeah.
Which I think, is similar with corporate.
It's a transaction, isn't it?
But then in contrast to that, I went to, and there is a timeline to different processes within tax and estate planning, which was my second seat. But there is a lot of just different dotty things to tax and estate planning, I think. So a lot of that is drafting wills, drafting lasting powers of attorney, or dealing with the administration of deceased's estates. Tax and estate planning differed a lot from property. In property, there was not a lot of client interaction in terms of face-to-face meetings. And then on my first day in TEP, I think I met 3 or 4 different clients, sat in on meetings, took attendance notes. It's a much more personable seat, I think.
Yeah.
And again, I really enjoyed it. I think part of the training is learning what you do want to qualify into as much as it is learning what you don't want to qualify into. I don't think I'm necessarily a person that lends himself to tax and estate planning. I know that it wouldn't be something that I would want to qualify into on reflection, but then I compare that to property, and I think that would be something that I could be tempted to qualify into.
They do always say, everyone says keep an open mind, and I think that's so true. When I was assigned to corporate, because also we should say that although it's about your wishes, it is also about business needs in terms of what seat you're given. And I think that is the best advice I was given, is to have an open mind. Treat every day as like could I see myself doing this? Do I enjoy it? And don't just, if you really like family, don't just think that's the only one for you and shut down in the other seats.
You don't want to write off 18 months of training just because you're all set on family. Have that as your 4th seat and go. Yeah,
because they're so
and
different
be in a position
practice.
where you don't know.
Yeah.
And then just touching on that, Jess is a first seat trainee and I'm going into what will be my 4th seat. You do get a bit more of leeway as to what you want to go into, and if you express that to KT training principal, you'll get given what you want in your final seat. So the two seats that I really wanted when I first started were DR, dispute resolution, which is what I'm currently in, and corporate, which is what I'm moving into in March, hoping that Jess is going to give me a nice changeover note. So obviously trainees are swapping around every 6 months or so. So it's very helpful when you get past notes on files that are open or general tips that you might have, written down and put in your cupboard and never used again. But if you were in, the first day you're in that seat, it might be useful to know that.
Streamline the process.
X likes sugar in their tea, or be that you need to put this clause in this clause every, in this spot every time. But it's good that you can sort of work with one another. Although we've only got one trainee in each team at the moment, it does seem that we still collaborate with a lot of different things throughout.
It's just
the
good for advice, isn't it? Support.
Yeah.
I mean, the culture here is definitely really 9 till 5, isn't it? And it's very supportive, friendly. We've got mentors that are assigned to us as well. So everyone is available, not only just the trainees. It goes up the ranks. The directors, fee earners, they're all there to help. No question is a silly question.
It is an open door policy. There isn't any feeling of hierarchy or anything. I don't feel that at all. I feel you can approach anyone at all times. And I'm sometimes amazed. I'm in DR at the moment, and Chris Longdon, who's managing director, is a fee earner in DR as well. And I'm amazed at the amount of time he gives me to help me, go through documents, which I've done before. I can knock on his door and somehow he always still finds time for me.
Yeah.
And that's really nice to feel like you're always welcome and you are a priority.
Yeah, I think one of the best pieces of advice I was given by Dan, actually, so he's the head of corporate, was you're just here to learn and to train. And that's really nice to hear, because you obviously want to do your best work. But having that, being told that on the first day was really nice, because you are just genuinely here to make mistakes, obviously not too many, but make mistakes and learn.
And Jess mentioned mentors. You get assigned mentors when you first join. Their role is just to their role is basically stipulated by you, in that you can go and approach them anytime you need advice on where you are with your training, any personal grievances. It's entirely confidential. My mentor is Ben, and I haven't used him necessarily as much to sort of discuss work things, but it's just nice having a mate outside of the firm. We have quite a lot of interests. We played golf a little bit in the summer, and I know that I can approach him. It doesn't need to go anywhere, but he would be able to give me sound advice. And he's been in the same position as with everyone here. They've all done some form of training, be that a training contract or a legal exec training. And it's good. It's nice to be able to call upon someone and have them as a port of call if you do have questions.
Yeah, definitely. And I think also part of being a trainee, maybe we should run through a day in the life, what we would do. Do you think?
Yeah, go on here.
So, as I've said, the hours are very good. It's a really good work-life balance here. So you normally will get in about 9, do some emails, meetings. You have a lot more meetings than I do in corporate, so I think you'll prepare for them.
Your day is stipulated by the seat you're in. I think people have very different. My day in TEP compared to property was very, very different. My day in DR is very, very different. For me, there is often a lot of meetings, taking attendance notes. You then reflect on the meeting. It might be X, Y, Z type of work comes out of that. That could be drafting in DR a letter before action, which sort of goes to the other side that you're having a dispute with. Or it could be instructing counsel, so a barrister to give expert legal advice in a certain field. That can come from a meeting, and the meeting sort of stipulate the work that you're going to get in DR. Whereas I think in corporate, it's a little bit different in that you have a set timeline, in that it's a bit more formulaic.
Yeah, definitely. So there's less meetings in corporate, and it's much more drafting documents, seeing what the client thinks about them, and going back to the other side, solicitors. Most of my days will be spent emailing the clients back and forth and working with the team. And the team's really collaborative, and it's really nice to feel a sense of real achievement when you get that deal completed, because you've all kind of done your bit and chipped in. So that's always fun to be involved in.
All in all, I sort of reflect, and I feel like I fell on my feet joining here. I've loved 17 months now that I'm in. Really looking forward to my last seat, having to have some serious considerations as to what I want to qualify into. But I do think that the whole culture truly is a really, really good one here. And you are made to feel like a part of the team rather than a trainee. You're not a
Yeah.
runner.
No.
You are a core part in every matter that you touch. I think that's just reflective of Whitehead Monckton as a whole.
Yeah, couldn't agree more.
If you do want to find out more information on what it's like to be a trainee here at Whitehead Monckton, we write trainee blogs. There are also little videos of us on the Whitehead Monckton page. On the website is whitehead-monckton.co.uk. Again, you can find out anything on the careers portal and the careers page on there. But I really recommend the blogs. They are a good indication as to what people get up to. Again, you can follow Jess and I on LinkedIn and drop us a message if you wish to. We're both very very agreeable.
Any questions, do let us know.
Yeah, do so. Tom Elstone, Jess Elphick, and our names, how to spell them, etc. I think should be in the title of the podcast. Thank you.
Thank you.